Did you know that in the UK, wearing armour is forbidden in Parliament? Yes, you heard that right. MPs, or any visitors for that matter, are banned from wearing suits of armour inside Parliament. This bizarre law dates back to medieval England and has never been formally repealed. But what could have prompted such a regulation, and why has it stood the test of time? Before we dive into this unique piece of history, make sure to subscribe to our channel if you're as fascinated by strange laws as we are. We've got plenty more bizarre regulations from around the world to share with you, so hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. So let's roll back to the year 1313. England was in turmoil. King Edward II was dealing with rising tensions from powerful barons who were less than happy with his leadership. During these years, conflicts between the monarchy and noble families reached intense levels, often resulting in violence. This period wasn't exactly known for peaceful political discussions, and arguments in Parliament would sometimes get physical. To limit violence, King Edward II introduced the Statute of 1313. This statute forbade anyone from bringing force, arms or armour to the Parliament. Edward wanted to ensure that parliamentary debates remained non-violent, without the looming threat of weapons and armour. In effect, he wanted Parliament to be a place for negotiation, not battle. This law is recorded in the famous Statutes of the Realm, a collection of laws and statutes established in the 13th and 14th centuries that still influence British law today. 1. By forbidding armour, King Edward II hoped to curb the aggressive tendencies of his noblemen, many of whom had their own private armies and were accustomed to using force to make a point. The armour ban served a practical purpose. In the medieval era, armour wasn't just for battle, it was also a display of wealth and power. A knight or noble entering Parliament in full armour was a not-so-subtle display of dominance, a signal of power, and even intimidation. King Edward II recognised this and enforced the armour ban to establish a sense of order and decorum. Interestingly, the armour ban in Parliament has never been officially removed. While it's no longer relevant today, the law has become a quirky reminder of the UK's medieval past. Britain's legal system holds on to its history with pride, and this law is just one example of how traditions from centuries ago are preserved. Even though we no longer see knights in shining armour, the rule remains as a symbolic nod to British history. It's also a part of why the UK's legislative process is seen as so unique. Unlike many countries, the UK operates with an unwritten constitution, which means that customs, statutes, and traditional laws carry a lot of weight. The armour ban, in some ways, represents the age-old British commitment to keeping peace in the room where decisions are made. Today, this ancient law is more of a historical curiosity. It reminds us of a time when political discussions in Parliament had the potential to be deadly. Imagine today's politicians needing a law to stop them from showing up in body armour. Sounds absurd, right? But back then it was necessary. One reason the law is still technically on the books is that the UK Parliament rarely goes through the process of formally repealing outdated laws. According to British law experts, the process of formally removing an old statute can be time-consuming, and often it's easier to leave them be unless they conflict with modern regulations. This armour ban is a quirky chapter in the UK's legal history, and it's one of many ancient statutes that remain part of British law. Some experts believe that leaving laws like these untouched maintains a sense of continuity and respect for tradition. It's fascinating to think that even today these historical artefacts exist in modern legal systems. If you're intrigued by unusual regulations like this, you'll find plenty more from around the world. Leave us a comment with any weird laws you've come across, and let us know if there are other quirky laws you'd like to see featured. This is Bizarre Regs, where we keep history alive one law at a time.